Hi everyone, and welcome to another locomotive review from Class 47 Peter. And today we're going to be having a look at a Bachmann model, as you can see. And today we're going to be having a look at a Class 57. Now, as you know, this year I went to Worley. I went there, this was my third year on the trot going. I went last year and the year before. While I was there, I purchased some new models. I bought two wagons, a Bachmann GWI Shunter's truck and a China Clay wagon, and I bought two locomotives, this being one of them. And I bought this from Rose of Sheffield stand. It's pre-owned, but this particular model is 57601 in Porterbrook Livery. And I have already opened this up to have a look at it, and the livery is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I've never seen a livery anything like this before on a 57. In fact, I didn't even know that this livery existed on a Class 57. I didn't know that they actually carried this livery. And this model was also produced exclusively to Bachmann Collectors Club. So this is actually the second Bachmann Collector Club exclusive model that I own. The other model being 41241 in the Keighley-Worth Valley Railway red livery. But anyway, let's get this model open and see what it's like. Well, I already know what it's like anyway, but you know what I mean. So this is the old Bachmann packaging that we'll put to one side. Then we have the card insert with a photograph of the real locomotive on the front in this livery that the model comes in. Then we get on the back some brief history of the Class 57, so you can pause and read that if you want. We also get a nice drawing there of the Class 57. Then here we have the guarantee and warranty information and Collector Club leaflet. Then we have the exploded diagram, parts drawings of the Class 57 as well. So basically, if you lose a part or it gets damaged, you can just order one from Bachmann's spare service. It also talks to you about fitting a DCC decoder and removing the body and running the model in as well. So I'll put that to one side and I'll put that in my folder where I keep all my instruction manuals. And there's the model in the polystyrene tray. I mean, just look at that livery. Wow. Okay, so first of all, before we go any further, we're going to have a look at the accessory bag. Now, we don't have a lot of detail parts in this accessory bag, but what we do get is a tension lock NEM coupling, as well as some air pipes as well, and these curious bits of detail down here, which I'm not sure what they are. Okay, so the detail parts now looked at. We will now remove the locomotive from the tray. So some finger holes in the back, which you can just simply pop the locomotive out of, and it comes out nice and easily. So now we can put the packaging to one side, and we can now have a look at the model in detail. Right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the weight of the model, and it is a very heavy loco, which is what we want because the weight is there to provide the traction. So this model will have no problems at all pulling whatever you choose to stick behind her, whether it's a passenger train or a freight train, or even if you're using it as a Thunderbird locomotive. Because you can use them as Thunderbirds, because I know that usually nowadays they have the Delma couplings on them, but they were used as Thunderbird locos before they fitted the Delma couplings, which they were allowed to feature. But there's enough weight in here for traction, so whatever it is stick behind her, she'll easily be able to manage. Moving on to the detail now, which we have sprung buffers, as you can see. So if you like your sprung buffers, they'll keep you happy. I don't have much care for them, but they're there. But they are made out of metal though. There's some detail already fitted on the buffer beam. On the front here we have a screw link coupling there, as you can see. The jumper cable there, and some sort of cables on the buffer beam there. I'm not too sure what they are, but they're the ones painted orange. But they're there and they do look very nice. On the front of the loco we have the warning signs, as well as some separately fitted handrails. We have some metal handrails there on the sides, and on the front we have a plastic handrail, I believe, the one that's painted white, as well as a separately fitted lamp iron, as well as the light clusters there, which they do light up, as you'll see later on, and the locomotive's running number 57601 crisply printed there on the front. There's glazing in the cab windows and the window rims there, which are painted black and have rivets on them, which looks nice, and separately fitted window wipers. I like how the glazing in the sides of the cab windows, they're in an open position, which looks really nice. There's also a driver as well on this end of the cab, as you can see. And the detail inside the cab is even painted as well. We have some separately fitted metal handrails there on the sides of the doors. There's glazing in the windows on the body as well, on the sides there. On the bogies we have some footsteps there for the crew to climb into the cab, and axle boxes and springs. None of the bits on the bogies are painted, but then none of them really were painted on this loco in real life, although I have seen in some photos where the axle boxes are painted a silver colour, but then I have also seen in some photos when the silver axle boxes are not there, but then it is possible that they might have got dirty at some stage. But you know, if you want to paint the axle boxes, that's something you can do. I might do that myself, or I might just leave the bogies as they are. But there is some nice detail on them though, regardless, even though none of it's painted. Then we have the fuel and water tank, which do have some nice detail on them. There's some nice rivet detail on there, and some nice signs on there. If I just zoom in on them, some warning signs. And they're crisply printed as well on there, and they do look really nice. Moving on to the roof, which the roof is not the most interesting thing to look at, but there is some nice detail on here. There's quite a lot of rivet detail in places. We have some nice textile grills there, and have a nice feel to them as well. Under these two grills here we have separately fitted fans. They don't spin, but you know, to be fair, when you're running the model, especially when you see the models running on my layout, you're never going to really notice the fans spinning anyway, regardless, even if they did. But they don't spin on this model, but you know, I'm not really fussed about that. Then we've got these latches on the top here, which have been painted a nice grey colour, which they do look very nice, especially on the grey roof. And we also have the exhaust ports as well. I like how this is painted a silver metallic colour, which looks really nice. Moving on to the other end of the loco, the detail is the same. Glazing in the cab windows, fitted window wipers, separately fitted of course. Separately fitted handrails, a lamp iron. On this end we have a NEM coupling fitted. On this end we do have a dummy coupling hook, although it isn't a screw link one, because you don't have the screw link coupling itself, it's just the hook. And of course we have the jumper cable and those cables there in the front and the buffer beam. And of course the marker lights, and of course not forgetting the sprung buffers as well. In this end of the cab, we again, like on the other end, we have painted cab interior, although on this end we don't have a driver like there is on the other end. Though to be fair, I wouldn't have expected to have been a driver on this end anyway. But this is the end I usually make the front of the loco, so what I'll do is I'll take the coupling out this end and put it in this end here. I know some might think it's going to be a bit odd with the driver in this end where the stock is going to be coupled up to, but it's a diesel loco after all. It's designed to go in both directions, so it doesn't really matter which end you choose to make the front on this. On the bottom of the loco, underneath the fuel tank, there is an A-B switch, which is for the lights. Now, A is daytime setting and B is nighttime setting, so you can, if you want to, switch it from A to B to have nighttime lights, if you want to have it like it's running a nighttime service or something, or you can just simply leave it as it is, which that I shall do. But it's there and it's a nice little feature on the model. Moving on to the livery now, and the livery is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it really is an eye-catching livery. It's something very different, not like anything else I've got on my layout. I mean, I just love the blue and the silver, and I do love as well how you've got the locomotive's running number printed on the sides of the cab, and then you have the locomotive's number on the sides there, painted on in large numerals. You know, the way it's done, it just looks absolutely fantastic. You know, it really is an absolutely beautiful livery. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Because this is why I wanted this livery, this particular model in this livery, because the livery it's in, it's not like anything else I have on my layout. And also because the livery is just so beautiful. I instantly fell in love with it as soon as I saw it, and so I just had to have it. And it's very well painted, it's a very nice even coat, correct shades of paint as well that have been picked out, and it's just a beautiful livery. And of course we have the loco's running numbers crisply printed on the sides of the cab on all ends, and the Porterbrook logo, which of course is too crisply printed and nicely applied. And on the other side of the loco, the detail is exactly the same as on the other side. Moving on to the running performance now, and as you can see, she runs very smoothly. There's no motors burning out, or stuttering movement, or grinding noises. She runs exactly as she should, straight from the box. I mean, she has already had some running in, and at first she was a little bit touch and go, but I've got her running well now. But then again, to be fair, it's probably sat in its box for crikey God knows how long, so it probably needed some running in anyway. But she's running very well now. Moving on to the loaded test run now for the Class 57, and she's pulling the rake of BR blue and grey coaching stock, and doesn't this look beautiful? This livery locomotive with the BR blue and grey set, it does look stunning. And this shows you why the weight is important of these models. There's 7 coaches behind her. And as you can see, she manages them without a problem. So that brings us on to a conclusion for the model, and overall it's a great model, it really is. I mean, this particular model is getting hard to find, I've noticed. I haven't come across many of this particular model in this livery, and she will be a very welcoming addition to my fleet. And I just cannot get over that absolutely gorgeous livery she has. I mean, it really is quite something. And she looks even more stunning with the BR blue and grey set behind her. It's not prototypical, I know, because this livery came much later after the BR blue and grey period, but it's mighty late, so therefore I run what I like, to be honest. But it does look stunning with these coaches, and it really is a great model. I might even be tempted to get a 57 now that has the Delma couplings on. But this model, I mean, wow. If you can find this model in this livery, I definitely recommend you get it. So moving on to the score. So overall, I'm going to rate her a 9 out of 10. This has been Class 47 Peter, reviewing the Class 57 in the Porterbrook livery, produced exclusively for Bachmann Collectors Club. Well, it was. It's long since been discontinued, this particular model. But I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.